Hello everyone, and welcome. I am the Phantom Reviewer, where my hell is to review. And with that, happy Halloween!
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize,
but I don't think we should.
A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling shrilly.
And today is a special day because we will be talking about one of the greatest anthologies in horror history, known as Creepshow.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.
Now this is the perfect film to talk about on Halloween this year. It has chills, thrills, and horrors beyond your wildest dreams. It's a 1982 horror anthology film directed by Mr. Night of the Living Dead himself, George A. Romero. And the writing was done by horror writer icon Stephen King. Why? Well, apparently according to him, this is why.
I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right. And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
What a scary man. Then again, maybe not as scary as he was on that one episode of The Simpsons.
So, Mr. King, what tale of horror and the macabre are you working on now?
Oh, I don't feel like writing horror right now.
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm working on a biography of Benjamin Franklin. He's a fascinating man. He discovered electricity and used it to torture small animals and Green Mountain men. And that key he tied to the end of a kite, it opened the gates of hell!
Well, let me know when you get back to horror.
Will do.
So anyway, we're going to be going through each segment and talking about what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and also to see who the hell sent me this mask. I swear, my fans, they need to know a little thing I like to call self-control. So anyway, let's get on to one of the best anthology horror movies of all time, Creepshow. Now, before we start on our chapters, we are given a segment with our horror equivalent to Bastian for the Neverending Story named Billy, whose father, played by Tom Atkins of Night of the Creeps fame, cause, well, fuck Halloween 3.
Turn it off! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
And with that, Billy's dad tells him to stop reading the aforementioned Creepshow comic book.
Time, young man, I find you with a worthless piece of shit like this again, you won't sit down for a week, buddy boy. Remember that.
So Billy's dad throws the comic in the trash, and from there we are introduced to our first chapter called Father's Day. Now this chapter starts off with the waspy yuppies known as the Grantham family, who sit around on Father's Day bitching and moaning about each other and how horrid they are.
Do you really think she'll be out, Aunt Sylvia?
Of course she will, Richard, you know that.
You can set your watch by her. 6 o'clock on the dot.
Pass those scones, Cass. You're such a hog.
Jeez, I'd rather listen to the Osbournes instead.
Well, I tell you what, I'm Ozzy Osbourne's wife. Now shut the fuck up and go to bed.
What is the real core of this gruesome tale is that all the siblings had one thing in common: a spoiled and spiteful father by the name of Nathan Grantham. In this segment, specifically, we find out that Nathan was such a controlling and horrible person that in order to keep his own daughter Bedelia to himself, he decided to kill her boyfriend in a so-called freak accident while hunting. And from there on until her father's death, that she was responsible for, Bedelia was her father's caretaker, whether she liked it or not. And from there we see Bedelia in the present time as an alcoholic visiting her hateful father's grave to decompress about how he treated her and how she is now.
You stupid bastard. You screwed it all up. You screwed up my mother. You screwed me up. You got me so mad. Drove me crazy. I want my cake, Bedelia!
Oh, and then there is something about a cake on Father's Day that he wanted.
Here's my cake. You promised
Yeah, that'll come up later, trust me. And all of a sudden, Nathan comes back from the grave and starts taking out each member of his family until the awesomely epic ending.
Father's Day, and I got my cake. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day indeed. So that was the first tale of this awesome anthology, and to tell you the truth, it is a little weaker than the bunch. It's not terrible by any means. It's more frosting and very little... yeah. But what it lacks, it makes up for in the end with a conclusion that will leave you shocked and giddy at the same time. So there is that. And now the next segment is called The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, which stars the one and only Stephen King himself as the titular Jordy Verrill. And his acting is, well...
Holy old Jesus!
Well, I guess it could be worse. He could be acting in maximum overdrive.
This machine just called me an asshole.
Like I said. So the basis for this tale is that Stephen King's character finds a meteorite that just landed on Earth and comes in contact with a slimy plant-like substance, which is obviously a tribute to the classic 1950s film The Blob, where the farmer investigates the blob creature when it first arrives on Earth and gets what's coming to him. And with that, we see the same fate happen with Stephen King's Jordy Verrill character. Then again, he kind of has himself to blame for this, because he keeps fucking up and doing the opposite he's supposed to do. You know, like make the plant alien creature from growing more. So with tons and tons of effort put into trying to stop this mean green creature from outer space, Stephen King does the most dignified thing he could do at this point. He shoots himself in the head and dies instantly. And with that, we are at the end of this chapter. So my thoughts on this segment are as such. It's a great build-up to a somewhat tragic ending, and I think it's effective enough to be part of the anthology. Like any story about a creature from outer space, it has a great sense of security that is quickly dashed with the horror building up, or in this case, growing to a very outlandish ending that nobody saw coming. Well, there you go. And now to the next chapter, which is called Something to Tide You Over. Now, this one is definitely one of the darker chapters in the Creepshow saga. A tale of vengeance taken on by Leslie Nielsen. Oof. Now, this is something I definitely didn't expect when I first saw this film. You know, as a kid and a teen, I always thought of Leslie Nielsen as mostly a funny man with all the spoof movies he's done in his career. Yet then again, he did do Prom Night, which had no funny business going on at all. Yet I saw this film later in life, so this was definitely a shock for me. Yet Leslie does this part so cold that it's the best kind of disturbing. In this chapter, Leslie plays a man by the name of Richard Vickers, who finds out that his now ex-wife Rebecca left him for another man named Harry, who is played very well by the one and only Ted Danson. Personally, I think he'd be better off being fucked with by Larry David.
I don't want a bite. Take this fucking piece of pie and get it out of my face.
Put the fucking pie down.
Don't put that pie down. Do not put that pie down.
God damn it. You know something? I heard that Rosie O'Donnell beat the crap out of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
bullshit.
bullshit.
No, it ain't
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, that's bullshit.
Rosie beat the crap out of you.
So now the situation here is that Richard wants to get revenge on his wife and her lover Harry. So Richard forces Harry to have himself buried to the neck by the beach to suffer for his adulterating ass. And with that, Richard then shows Harry that Rebecca is also buried to her neck as well. And Harry tries to convince Richard to not do this. And with not much convincing, Richard decides to leave both Rebecca and Harry to die of drowning to death. And at this point, I have to say that this film was noted by famous critic Roger Ebert, who enjoyed the film, and said that the main theme of this anthology film is that of common fears. And in the case of this tale, it's drowning to death. Now let's be real, that is some scary shit. Yet after that, we see it gets kind of silly when Richard is just chilling until Rebecca and Harry come back as watered-down zombies and attempt to take Richard down the same way that he did to them. And that ends this chapter of the film. Like I said, this is definitely one of the more darker chapters in the Creepshow saga. Whether it's the idea of the segment with being left alone to die, it makes you feel uncomfortable while watching it. It makes you realize that evil can come in many forms, even if it's somebody as goofy as Leslie Nielsen.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious.
And don't call me Shirley.
Now, anyway, let's get on to our next segment called The Crate. So we start this chapter with a janitor discovering a crate underneath the set of stairs in the main college that might have something inside, and telling one of the two professors at the gathering of the college they work at. The one the janitor informs is Mr. Dexter Stanley, played by Fritz Weaver, and they go to take a look. As for the other professor I mentioned is Mr. Henry Northrup, played by Hal Holbrook, who for most of the segment has to deal with something more terrifying than what's in an unknown crate. His wife, Wilma, played by Adrienne Barbeau. And through most of the film, she pretty much acts like a verbally abusive bitch to everyone, especially to her husband.
Now you and Henry both, you're such children. But at least Henry has me to take care of him, don't you, dear?
Oh, really, Wilma,
So when Parker told me that I was out of line, I told him he ought to get laid. I mean, Parker, I said, if you just have your ashes hauled, you wouldn't have to spend all this time playing Emily Vanderbilt. Or Emily Van Buren. Whoever that etiquette crotch is.
While that crap is going on, Mr. Stanley and the janitor discover that apparently there is a creature in the newfound crate that is over 100 years old and is hungry for a janitor and a prize student of Mr. Stanley. After that gory display, we have Mr. Stanley run over to Henry's house telling him what he had just witnessed. So with that, Henry gets a sinister idea, which entails that he will drug Mr. Stanley and leave a note for his wife, Wilma, to meet him at the college alone for some them time. And as soon as she gets there, Henry draws Wilma closer to the crate under the stairs and then tries to push her closer to the crate. Until that happens, we have to get one last insult barrage in before her sudden death.
Same old Henry, afraid of your own shadow. You know what, Henry? You're a regular barnyard exhibit. Sheep's eyes, chicken guts, piggy friends, and shit for brains.
Oh, thank you, Fluffy. You are the perfect dumpster for putting away horrible wives. So Henry decides to lock up Fluffy and drop his ass off into the river, Batman Returns style, and what we are left with is a vision of a face.
Only a mother could love.
And that was the Crate chapter. And you know what? It's definitely a fun segment and has one of the most well-deserved deaths in my opinion. The other deaths are not as necessarily deserved, except for maybe Leslie Nielsen. The only difference between Leslie Nielsen and Wilma is that Leslie was kind of a lovable villain that makes you laugh at just as much as he is if he was a hero, you know? And with Wilma, she is so verbally abusive and insufferable that you want her to die. So that might be the only difference there. So yes, it is a very entertaining one. Now off to the next and last chapter of our film titled, They're Creeping Up on You. So in our final segment, we are introduced to our shut-in douchebag millionaire by the name of Upson Pratt, who could care less about others but himself.
Who are you?
Lenore Kassenmeyer. I'm the wife of the man you murdered this afternoon.
Mrs. Katzenmeyer, how are you?
I hope they keep hell hot for you. You son of a bitch.
And along with that, be a horrible racist.
Notice that in service jobs, people like yourself often do. People of color.
Along with having those toxic traits, he also has a huge fear of cockroaches.
Oh, I found another cockroach this evening, George. Oh, no. One of those big ones. Right here in my $3,200 a month penthouse apartment.
You have cockroaches in there? One big one. A big one. On a stick.
And with that, we are given, if not one of the most skin-crawling scenes in horror. Enjoy. And then we end on Billy, who was able to cut out a send-off for a voodoo doll to use to kill his dad for taking his comic away.
Throw away my comic books.
And after that day, that kid would grow up to be a comic book guy on The Simpsons.
Worst episode ever.
And that was Creepshow. And what else is there to say about it? It's one of the best anthology horror stories and films ever. This film has it all when it comes to the Halloween season. It has ghouls, revenge, waterboarding, aliens, who apparently have a green thumb, and insect invasions that would make anyone with an iron stomach feel queasy. On top of that, it's just a great film that also has a great dark sense of humor about itself and atmosphere, which just works even better with its imagery and actors. Well, my fellow Phantoms, this has been a fun review to do. And with that, I wish you all a very happy Halloween. And with that, the only thing I wish is to who gave me this damn mask? And why was it given to me? I guess I'll never know. What's going on? Who are you?
Oy vey! Honey, guess what? Don't you know I'm your golem girlfriend, and we're married.
So you're telling me that I'm married to a Jewish demon?
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.